Moments and memories build archways around me, doors from my future and past, morphing, closing, turning, twisting. My museum, my studio, my office, my home.
There's no reason to live here in the city. A lot of performers have moved, or they're really reconsidering what makes them want to be here. Because in all aspects, it's just an overpriced big city. None of us are really accessing our crafts. All in this big boat of, do we stay here or do we go?
One perspective that has really shifted for me during quarantine is this need to be happy. More specifically, is this really the only thing that will make me happy? And unfortunately, I still kind of don't know the answer to that.
Right now, there's less structure. I'm less disciplined, less consistent. Creativity and productivity come in waves. I realize there are days when I don't feel like doing anything or can't do anything. And there's just so much uncertainty. We always talk about how perfection doesn't exist, but especially now, it feels like there is no perfect or even right way to do anything or right decision to make. It feels like living in a gray area all the time, and I've had to accept that and be okay with that.
I was actually letting go of my training because I wanted to breathe and disconnect. But now I think I realize that I've actually been healed through pause. I felt pressured to create a lot initially, and actually I really did feel overwhelmed in the beginning, but I do believe that my character, in a way, evolved, at least in a bit, through learning what my limitations are and actually having a moment to breathe and be still and just be able to look up at the world rather than having my head down rushing through this hectic place.
It's allowed me to sort of take the lead of my own creative process. A lot of times before I was doing like shows and programs, which are great, but they're always run by somebody else. Whereas now, I've had to come up with my own projects, and I feel like the stakes are higher because they're so personal.
Different levels and textures of that question, when is it appropriate to share? And what is my platform for sharing as a movement artist, since we now no longer have in-person audiences? The way that my art is created and brought together has to completely shift now. So I do feel this huge shift in how does performance art happen? How can I still have this creative outlet without that external motivation, pressure, and presence around me?
This time is showing me what it means to be an artist, and is making me ask deep questions about what is the place of art in society. Obviously, it's one of the first things to go in a health crisis and an economic crisis, because in so many ways it's not necessary. And so I'm thinking about my friends who are in this profession and myself. Part of me is a little bit humbled to say that no, my job is really completely unnecessary to the functioning of society. But then I also think about how people are coping right now with what's happening, and art is necessary. Art is going to happen regardless.
I keep in mind the long game. It will get better. Things will return. Work will return. And I plan to stick it out to be there when that happens. So I will continue to practice, and I will continue to better myself so that when the times come and this passes, I will be ready. Because after all, the show must go on.
I'm also reminded of this quote that I don't even remember where I heard it about. In a crisis, what should a bread maker do? Make bread. You know, in a crisis, what should an artist do? Make art, I think.
Art is in the making, but also in the absorbing, the relishing, the hunger, the laughter, the sigh on a summer afternoon. An artful life, she sighed.